Hi, friends. There is just something about pinwheels that instantly makes me think of summertime. They're cheerful, colorful, and full of whimsy. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to mass produce beautiful pinwheel embellishments using nothing more than the scrap paper you already have sitting in your craft room. These are perfect for summer projects, birthday cards, junk journals, scrapbook layouts, garlands, gift tags, you name it. Best of all, they're a fantastic way to use up those paper scraps you've been saving but never quite knew what to do with. So grab your scraps and let's jump right in. Like most crafters, I have a growing collection of paper scraps waiting for the perfect project. I like to keep mine organized in mesh bags by size, so it's easy to grab exactly what I need. For today's project, I looked for scraps that were large enough to cut into 2 by 2 inch squares. Each pinwheel uses 4 2 by 2 squares, so you really don't need much paper. I do recommend using double-sided pattern paper because it gives your finished pinwheel a beautiful look from every angle. But don't worry if all you have is single-sided paper. Here's a simple trick. So you're going to cut your 2-inch squares from 2 coordinating single-sided papers, then adhere them back to back before cutting. You'll end up with your own custom double-sided paper. Some of the pinwheels I'm making today use store-bought double-sided paper, while others are made using this exact technique. Once all of your squares are cut, it's time to cut each one diagonally. Your 4 squares will become 8 right triangles. Now we're ready to fold. Place one triangle on your work surface with the point facing toward you. Take the top point and fold it straight down to the corner directly beneath it. The side that's facing up now will become the flap, so keep that in mind depending on which pattern you want showing. If you're using double-sided paper, you have a couple of options. You can fold every triangle the same way for a consistent look, or you can flip some of the triangles before folding so the patterns alternate around the pinwheel. I especially love alternating the patterns because it gives the finished piece so much more dimension and interest. Continue folding all of your triangles until they're finished. Once everything is folded, I like to secure each flap using both runner tape adhesive and a tiny bit of liquid adhesive. The runner tape gives me an instant hold, while the liquid glue helps keep those little flaps from lifting over time. It's a simple extra step that really does make a difference. Now it's time to assemble the pinwheel. Take one folded triangle and flip it over. Add adhesive to the back. Now line up the next folded piece, matching the points together. Continue rotating around, adding one piece at a time. Think of it like building a wheel, with all of the points meeting in the center. When you reach your final piece, add adhesive to the back and carefully tuck it underneath the very first piece. Then lift that first piece slightly and add a little adhesive underneath and press everything into place to complete the circle. Once everything is assembled, I like to burnish the pinwheel with my bone folder to sharpen all of those folds and make everything nice and crisp. One thing I really love about these is that both sides look completely different. If you aren't a fan of one side, simply flip it over. You get a whole new design. Now let's finish it off. Place your pinwheel on a foam mat and use a piercing tool to make a small hole right through the center. Then insert a decorative brad. You can use whatever brads you already have in your stash, or even substitute buttons, enamel dots, pearls, or gems if that's more your style. Repeat the process, and before you know it, you'll have an entire collection of colorful pinwheels ready for future projects. These are wonderful for birthday cards, summer-themed cards, scrapbook layouts, junk journals, handmade garlands, gift tags, party decor, pinwheel wands, or even real spinning pinwheels by attaching them to wooden dowels. The possibilities really are endless. Once you have your squares cut, these come together surprisingly quickly. I made this entire collection in just one afternoon, and it hardly made a dent in my paper stash, so I have way more that I can make still. It's such a satisfying way to turn those forgotten scraps into embellishments that you'll actually reach for again and again. And it's good to have pre-made embellishments ready to go so that as you're creating cards or whatever project you're using them for, you have something already on hand. I hope this project inspires you to dig into your scrap pile and give these pinwheels a try. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed if you haven't already. And thank you so much for spending some crafty time with me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye, friends.